How's it going, everyone? It is me, Karlon, the Taco Muncher. And I really don't know how to feel about the news I've learned today. I've got extremely mixed feelings on the subject, so just go with me here. I just found out today that there's going to be a new Lord of the Rings film. Now, my first thought was, oh dear God, it's another Amazon production based in the Rings of Power universe, isn't it? But no, as far as I can tell, Amazon is not involved with this at all. This is a Warner Brothers production, and this will not have anything to do with the Rings of Power. So, maybe there is a god after all. That's great news. I mean, we're immediately on better footing here. This new film will be called Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum, and will obviously be starring Andy Serkis playing Gollum, but surprisingly will also be directed by Andy Serkis. And another awesome bit of news is that Peter Jackson, as well as his co-writers Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens from all the past films, will also be returning to help produce the movie. And even more frosting on top of that news is that Weta Workshops will once again be helping to make the effects in the film. So there is some good news with this announcement, but I do have my worries still. Now, what worries me most is that it's 2024. I mean, have you seen the movie industry as of late? Have you seen the television industry, the entertainment industry in general? And I know, I can already hear it now. But Karlon, they have Peter coming back. They've got the writers. They've got Andy Serkis. You know, they're bringing back Gollum and all this other, let's face it, probably a ton of references to other things within Lord of the Rings. How can they go wrong? Well, I mean, if we're going off that logic, then no sequel, no remake, and no adaptation should ever fail nowadays. But they do. Where do I even begin? Terminator, Star Wars, Indiana Jones. All of these franchises that bring back the old actors. They try to, make a lot of nostalgic references. They even get some of the original writers or a director or so here for creative purposes to help make the films. But you still got the production houses that are the main problem. This kind of thing is sadly not a sign for good quality to come. It also doesn't help that Warner Brothers hasn't exactly been pushing out bangers a lot lately. And let's face it, Gollum has already been done to death. Gollum has been in 4 films. Gollum has been in multiple games. Gollum just had one of the worst games ever to be made come out recently. And I think we all know how that went. But not just that, the potential for these films trying to lean on nostalgia as a crutch, it's going to be an issue more than likely. If Warner Brothers has too much to do with the actual production of these films, there will be an overuse of nostalgia, and more than likely the writing will suffer for it. I'm trying my best not to be pessimistic with this news, because there is always a chance for things to turn around technically. It just takes the right creatives to be in place and to allow them to be creative. I mean, for every 10 horrible DC films we have, we get Joker. With every handful of badly written Star Wars stories, we get Andor. And in the midst of hundreds of bad sequels, spin-offs, and adaptations, we get something like Top Gun Maverick. And hopefully, considering the intense, just massive backlash that Rings of Power received, hopefully Warner Brothers will allow, big emphasis on allow, Andy and Peter and everyone else that's involved with this project to just do what they do best. Be creative and basically just make works that represent their love for the source material. Even if they are utilizing characters we already know and just pulling from nostalgia. Hopefully these stories will still feel original. They will still feel unique. I still think it would have been better to either pull from more of Tolkien's work and or to just make some original characters and place them within Tolkien's universe here and just build stories off of those. But nonetheless, this is what we're getting. Hopefully it turns out to be good. And believe me, I will definitely be making more videos on this subject because this is near and dear to my heart. I love the Lord of the Rings trilogy, both the movies and the books greatly. Tolkien's work, I can't think of much to compare it to. It just stands above most. Peter, his team, and actors like Andy Serkis, and pretty much almost the entire cast of the Lord of the Rings movies, man, the passion overflowed for those. Hopefully, we can get just even a tenth of that passion for these films. But now I want to know what you guys think. Do you find this news exciting? I mean, Andy Serkis, Peter Jackson getting back together, Weta Workshops, all that kind of stuff. More Lord of the Rings, all that. Or do you find this troubling that it could be another Rings of Power? Do you think it could be as bad or worse than Rings of Power? Or do you just feel like these movies just shouldn't be made at all? Let me know down below, and don't forget to also like, share, and subscribe. And of course, hail the victorious dead.